Stuart Hetherington is the founder and CEO of Holovis, an award-winning tech company that designs and installs immersive and interactive themed entertainment attractions. Stuart joined the DMU family in 1991, enrolling on electrical engineering and computing before setting up his company in 2004. Holovis now works with some of the biggest brands on the planet, including Ferrari, Lego, and Universal Studios. We're very grateful that he has returned to campus today to chat about his time at DMU and share some insight into the man behind Holovis. Welcome, Stuart.
Thank you very much.
So, first off, I want you to take me back to the early 1990s. You're swapping North Yorkshire, I believe,
Right, yeah.
for Leicester Polytechnic. So, what's going through your mind? Are you nervous, excited?
Mixed emotions, I guess. My journey started... obviously, A-levels, had to get my A-levels, otherwise I couldn't do electronic engineering. Ever since I was a young kid, all I ever wanted to do was electronic engineering. But of course, your career advice is you've got to do maths, physics, chemistry at A-level to do that. There was no other advice. That was it. And let's just say I wasn't very good at A-levels.
Okay.
So I got my physics. That was it. Great. So I came here through clearing. Which at the time was kind of terrifying. What am I going to do? How can I actually get to university? All the advice was go back and do your A-levels again. You won't make it. I'm a little pig-headed. I don't like being told that I can't do something. So I decided, no, I'm going to do this. So I found my own way to what was then Leicester Polytechnic.
Wow. How did that come about then? So I'm imagining clearing in 1991 is slightly different to clearing in 2025.
Can't even remember. All I remember is it was up to me. So right. I got on the phones. I looked at opportunities, different polytechnics then to see if my one A-level was going to help me at all. And Leicester said, we'll have a chat, come down for the open day.
Fantastic.
And obviously it's in that very short period between when you get your results and you've got to be here. And they said, we'd love to have you come and be part of the HND course. So rather than jumping straight to the degree, they said do an HND first and then carry on if things work out for you, which thankfully they did. So as much as it was chaotic, as much as it was quite daunting, when we all arrived here for that clearing day, we suddenly realised, there's a real opportunity here to do something that could help my career. And, I didn't want to go back and do A-levels again. I wanted to get on with it. So I had that opportunity in front of me and I took it. And like I said, never looked back.
Did you imagine back then that, we cut to 2024 and you're the chief executive of your own very successful immersive technology company?
I don't think I could have ever imagined back then that I'd be where I am now. I always knew that I would achieve. I was always driven. Even from a very young age, I would tell people, one day I'll own my own business. I didn't know what that meant then, but I was always driven by this inner kind of whatever's in my DNA that I wanted to succeed and that I wanted to achieve. And especially, like I say, when people said you won't, I absolutely will. So I knew then that there would be something, but I don't think I could have ever have dreamt that it is what it is today, where I'm proud to be someone that has an incredible company that is all down to the incredible team that I have behind me, working with these amazing brands and these amazing clients worldwide. Thankfully we got there. So
tell me a bit about Holovis then. Where did it come from?
So I guess the journey, just to go back to how I left with my degree from Montfort, and then I stayed in the area, obviously, which was fantastic. The opportunities in the area connected with industry, especially, and eventually engineering and automotive, really gave me the step up that I was looking for into industry before I ended up starting Holovis myself. Mm-hmm. And that journey took me to a small electronics company that I worked for originally in Lutterworth.
Okay.
And I knew the MD quite well, and he knew that he knew what my passion was to eventually be part of something that wasn't what his company could offer me, which was really generous of him. So he would contract me out to other companies to help him, but also then hopefully with the intention that I might find a company that I'd like to be a part of and grow. And after a number of contracts that I worked on, I ended up going to MIRA, Motor Industry Research Association, up at Hinckley, and helped them with some work they were doing around the data acquisition systems in the crash laboratory. Of course, as a young engineer, you're in that environment. It's like, I'm done. This is it. This is where I want to be. And they eventually offered me a job. So I ended up working for Myra. I worked in the physical test facilities, worked across all the electronics and sensor systems for physical test and crash testing vehicles. So an absolute dream job for a young engineer to end up there. But again, with my inquisitive, entrepreneurial, innovative mindset, I started to look for opportunities how I could affect the way that we develop vehicles. Okay. And one of the obvious spaces was to look at less physical tests, because it's very costly and complicated, and where the emerging computing and simulation market was, and whether we could do more in the virtual sense.
Wow.
So if
and
you
when
think
was
about
this?
this,
Sorry, just
so
in
this
time.
is 94, 94, just after my degree. It was, again, very, very early days, the wild west of computing technology. You had giant silicon graphics workstations that powered these environments that we knew we'd need. Yeah. I was lucky enough that they funded several research projects for me and ended up in America, worked with people out of MIT, so incredibly intelligent guys that were pioneering the technology for this vision that we had for immersive visualization, for design and simulation in automotive vehicle program. And I came back from those study sessions and thought, this is it. This is what we need as the technology, and started with my then boss putting together a business plan around how we could build the first ever virtual facility for supporting design and simulation in the vehicle program. And we were going to deliver that at Myra. Wow. And the long and short of it was, we thought we were going to deliver it at Myra. The directors, they were kind of intrigued by it, and they could see that this was the future, but they were also very hesitant because they didn't really understand it. Yeah. So instead of going, yes, we'll invest in this, they also didn't say, no, we won't. So we're in limbo.
Yeah,
and we never quite
it?
kind of got it off the ground. So my then boss and I left, and we said, right, we're going to go do this ourselves.
Wow. So you were that confident in your vision, and your kind of, being a pioneer is always difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you it's back to opportunity. You seize the opportunity. It's daunting, scary, but that's what, hopefully you get the results, and you turn it into something that's successful.
So, I mean, that is quite a journey, and I imagine there's been some considerable ups and downs along that. And obviously, you've talked about some of the brands that you've worked with are absolute house. They're some of the, they are the biggest brands in the world. So what's been the highlight? What's the highlight of your career so far?
Highlights. I guess. It's kind of all a highlight, really, because it's amazing. Nice. I have to pinch myself when I step back from it and I look at it. And for me, it's about the team. I can't do it on my own. I can come up with the ideas and be the innovator and the entrepreneur with my co-director. But it's one where you look at the people. It's a people-orientated business, heavily project-based, and they're the real geniuses in it now. And it's about us empowering them. It's about us motivating, driving them. Yes, coming up with ideas and how we direct the business and how we channel the business and move the business forward. So that whole success that we've had in doing that as we've grown the business is, obviously hugely rewarding, and we're humbled by that approach that we've achieved and that we are where we are today. I think probably if I was to pick out probably the most recent thing that we would look at and go, that is a real highlight for us.
Pinch me moment.
It's working with probably the biggest companies in the world, like you say, Universal Studios, and the opportunity where 7-8 years ago we started working with them. We can't talk about what we work with them. That's always very frustrating. You go, can't. But we do work with them. We do incredible work with them. Our US team are amazing out of Orlando. They're fully embedded into the Universal ecosystem. You're probably all aware there's the new park being built, Epic, third park in Orlando. We're heavily involved in that. So when you get to see that when it's open, we'll be able to go, we might be involved with a few things here. And we can say, because it's public knowledge, and we won the Thea Award for it, but working with Universal on the Nintendo worlds that they've built in Osaka, in Hollywood, and obviously the one that's going to be opening in Epic, and especially the work we did on the Mario Kart attraction is an iconic moment for us. I can't tell you any more than that, but that's public domain. We spent a lot of time on that, and together with Universal, we were very proud when we were part of the Thea Award that they got for that attraction. Fantastic. So that's probably our most recent highlight.
That's incredible. Like, wow, yeah, what a highlight to have as well. And so I suppose the flip side of that is running your own company. The stakes are always really high. What have been some of the challenges, and how have you dealt with that kind of challenge or failure, where it must have been inevitable in a journey of this length?
There's always, as you say, those highs and lows, and I don't like reflecting on the lows because some of them have been quite challenging and traumatic. I guess looking at it holistically, the biggest challenge we have is finding good people. So going back to De Montfort, my support for De Montfort now as part of the alumni, the work that I do with the facilities here and how we collaborate, that collaboration between Holovis and DMU is really, really important to me. And finding good people, people that are part of the Holovis culture, people that get it, people that want to be on that journey with us, that obviously have the skill sets that we want, but also the mindsets. And for us, it's more about those mindsets and having that similar passion to be a part of an incredibly rewarding team working on these amazing projects. But it's hard to find. And we're always connected with obviously the university ecosystem, looking for those individuals and trying to support the growth of them, the education of them, and then giving them opportunity to come into an industry like ours to be a part of it. So that's still a challenge for us. We're a fast-paced company. We're growing all the time, and keeping up with the industry, keeping up with the demands, keeping up with the competition means you have to continually employ the right kind of people and be very selective around the way that we do that. And keep at the forefront of obviously the technology that we work in.
And that you're not the first chief exec that I've spoken to that says talent is a real challenge at the moment. So what are the attributes you look for in people?
We from a skill set point of view, we're incredibly diverse in Holovis. So if you look at how we get involved in an entertainment and experiential solution, we can be working at the creative end of the spectrum, where we'll be supporting a client on storyboarding, on initial innovation design work. So there's a whole department requirement there around creative skills, art and design, modeling, animation, to build out the initial ideation part of the projects. And then as we start to build out and hopefully deliver on the project, we're then moving to the engineering side of it. So we've got AV engineers, we've got electronic engineers, we've got mechanical engineers, and then we've got software engineers who are writing the glue that makes it all join together. A lot of our technology now is real-time technology, and it's very heavily data-driven. So big data, we were the first company, I think globally, to really obsess around the future opportunity of data-driven experiences in theme parks and in experiential venues.
Fantastic. So to kind of, I suppose, bring it back round full circle to where we started, how do you think sort of where you are today, which is, an extremely successful, entrepreneur with your own company, parts of the business all over the world, how do you think those early DMU days helped to shape that? Did they? I mean, or do you think it was that was a footing that got you going?
I think it absolutely did. I think it was one of those.
It's really awkward when people sit there saying no.
No, it absolutely did. Because would I go back and change anything? No, because I wouldn't be here now with what we've done, what we've achieved. Wouldn't be here doing this and still supporting the university, which is so important to me. And yes, there's been highs and lows on the way. There were highs and lows when I was here. Would I go back and change them? No, because it's made me who I am. It's put me on the journey to strive to succeed, to solve problems, to remove the blockers that can be put in your way. And I think, DMU gave me those opportunities. At the end of the day, they welcomed me here through clearing. They didn't have to.
Yeah.
And they went, you only got one A level. Well, that wasn't that impressive at the time, but they gave me that opportunity and they said, it's on you now, prove yourself. And I did, and thanks to the university for that, because look at what I've achieved now.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's all part of that journey, and it's testament to those early days, those early lessons, those early relationships. Look at it now here. It's amazing.
It's gorgeous. It's lovely to hear you say that, because I do think when we talk to our alumni, and the way you test whether a university is doing its job properly is actually to go and talk to your alumni and see what they're doing. And I think what's so lovely talking to you is that experience you had in the early 90s is still that kind of mindset we try and instill in students, giving them that sense of, you just captured it beautifully there, we'll support you, go and make something of it. And I just think that, that's a lovely way to give people that first kind of, we believe in you, go and run with it.
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to take what you've got now and have had it then.
Oh yeah, wouldn't we all?
What a mind blow when you walk around the campus and you go, it's so different. It's staggeringly different to what we had as the city campus then.
So final question really, what advice would you give to students who have the same mindset that you've talked about so much today, that kind of entrepreneurial, I'm not taking no for an answer, can-do attitude, I'm going to be successful. What advice would you give to them if they're about to sort of start their university career? And
looking at DMU, go for it. Just do it. It's, I think, not just, as we said, the facilities, the campus, the support, the networks. Beyond that, we're in the heart of the UK, the Midlands here. You've got so much growth, so much industry around you now. Companies like ours, companies in engineering, automotive, and emerging industries as well. They're all focused around this area as well. To come here and have that opportunity to start your career and to educate yourself here at DMU, and then look at what opportunities you've got locally is incredible. We're not going to keep all students here, I appreciate, but the opportunity that the universities had overseas as well, we never had those kind of connections, or didn't even know of them, whether they were there or not back in 91 when I arrived. But you look now at where the university is with its connections abroad, and it's incredible. So what DMU can offer you as a student from your educational point of view, but that wider future career and network, I think is incredible. And if you're considering it, go for it.
What a lovely place to leave it. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. A true inspiration. I've thoroughly enjoyed this. So
likewise, thank you
so much.
No problem at all.